Hey guys, Umbral Escalations is out, so it's time to look at what OP builds I can make. And today, I'm hitting you with a 2-for-1 special. Let's get right into it. The first build I have here is for Chainblades, and it is to really focus on wounding damage. It's using the Torg Chainblades, with Conduit and Iceborne slotted in it, and bonded with Hellion. The Hellion unique effect is really strong for Chainblades, giving us that damage proc every 11 hits. It is definitely the strongest unique effect for Chainblades. We're using Reaper's Dance here for big damage and Serrated Blades here for consistent crits. This allows us to hit multiple parts with our combos while stacking up big damage for a single big hit. Use the armor required for the build. And for lanterns, I'm using Dress Lantern, but use whatever lantern's comfy for you. Moving on to cells, we have Barbed for that on-hit wound. This is very useful with Chainblades because of how fast and how many parts they hit. Really spreads the wound around on the behemoth. We have Conduit in here because I'm a good teammate and like giving people attack speed. Next up is Iceborne. Iceborne's a pretty easy choice for escalations. Allows it to tank damage and heal up through almost anything. Wouldn't leave Ramsgate without it. Overpower gives us a pretty huge damage increase for any behemoth that's laying on the ground. Rage here is just a great base damage boost. We have 3 acidic here. This will give us the majority of our wound damage. There's no need to go up to +6 acidic. The only thing we gain by going up to +6 is 20% part damage, which is just not worth it. And +3 discipline to enable Iceborne and Rage. Plus a little bit of crit never hurt anybody. Keep in mind with this build, because we're using acidic, we will not be breaking that many parts. But because we're creating wounds on the behemoth, it allows other people in our party to break the parts very, very easily. Moving on to Axe. This Axe build is designed to work with the Chainblade build to break off all the wounds that the Chainblade build creates. Since they won't be doing any part damage, we're going to be bringing extra part damage. We're using the Rezakiri Axe here with Discipline and Conditioning slotted in, and Grim Onslaught for the special with Overcharged Cylinder for the mod. Rezakiri Axe will have that elemental bonus and Umbral Escalations to give you that extra power, as well as a pretty nice unique effect for a 10% chance to double hit. Use the armor required for the build. I use Emmermain always on Axe. The tap is just so great for getting that a little bit of extra attack speed for such a slow attacking weapon to begin with. Use whatever lantern you feel comfy with. We're being Conduit again because we're just such great teammates. Iceborne, of course. Permanent 8% lifesteal is too much to overlook, as well as damage reduction. It's just such a good cell. This cell is just always necessary for escalations. Rage once again giving us that base damage of 25%. Sharpened here is going to give us that part damage to break off those parts. +3 conditioning really helps us with our stamina management. +3 cunning adds in a little bit of additional crit chance. Discipline once again to enable our other low life cells, as well as some added crit. I have +3 Wild Frenzy here for additional attack speed, which makes the axe just feel so much better. But if you want to change this to be +6 cunning and land those humongous crits, you definitely can. But this is my personal preference. The 2 amps that really enable the Chainblade build is Exposed Weakness. Adding 200 wound damage per hit is extremely strong. Chainblade already attacks very fast and does AoE attacks. This will easily allow you to wound every single part on the behemoth extremely quickly. If I see this amp, I will almost 100% take it on Chainblade. The other amp we're really looking for is Elemental Summoner. This amp is so strong. For every 2000 wound damage that we do, it creates an orb. There are 3 orbs it can create. The green one will heal for 250 health for all players every 5 seconds. The red one will explode for 1000 damage every 10 seconds. And the blue one gives you a 15% crit chance. I know Elemental Summoner doesn't say this, but it also gives you an acidic component as well, whereas it converts 20% of your part damage into wound damage. So you can actually take this without any wound damage and still be able to do wound damage. I just only recommend taking this when you are already doing some wound damage because it makes it even stronger. Let me show you how broken this amp is. As you can see, there is just balls everywhere. This build is actually so much fun. Spawning all these orbs around the battlefield is just such a blast. I know some people don't like the noise of the orbs, but to me, it is music to my ears. Keep in mind though that this build does not really do a lot of part damage, so I always highly recommend having somebody on your team doing a lot of part damage. That's why I recommend these 2 builds together. The Chainblade does all the wounding and the Axe does all the part damage. When these 2 are put together, they just work so well together, so just keep that in mind when you're using these builds. Anyways guys, enjoy the rest of the fight and see you guys next time.